Awesome. So welcome to the MVP officers for APAC and EMEA. This is, I think, our second one in this year. So we don't have a lot of crowd today, I think probably because it's a longer weekend in India. So we have Malcolm and Shiva. So guys, I'm not going to waste a lot of time. If you have any questions, let's get started and we can take it up from there. So Shiva, do you have any questions?
Yeah, like basically, I have few questions on admin stuff. So it's like considerations question. So while implementing any workflows, is there any good practices we need to follow, especially for field updates?
Can you repeat that question again? I think your voice was breaking in between.
So I need some implementation considerations on workflow field updates. Why? Because in our project, like we have a lot of stuff on workflow field updates. So there are some due to the workflow field updates, we are hitting 101 circle issues due to like the triggers are firing again and again, and it's taking us to the infinite loop. So is there a specific guideline to implement the workflow field updates?
So if I'm getting this right, you have a couple of workflows which you're refiring again, and which is causing an infinite loop, and or do you have also a trigger in between?
Yes, like say for example, yes, that is the issue. So my question on that one more point. So if you are going to implement any workflow field update on the same object, that means if you are going to if you are creating any record at the same after creating the record, if you are going to update the same record with the workflow field update, is there any consideration like we need to avoid those kind of things, or is there any best practices in implementing?
So as you probably know about the order of execution, the triggers get fired first, and if there's any so in the trigger, actually you can check if there's a recursive loop using this static variable. So in the trigger, you can just make sure that you don't have any recursion coming in. But the workflows, as far as the workflows are concerned, if you're going to update the same record or same object again, there is an option. It'll fire the after trigger and the before trigger, right? And if you have a checkbox called reevaluate the workflow after the changes, then it again fires the workflow. So you can avoid that. But the infinite loop will not be caused from the workflow side of things, because Salesforce has inbuilt locking mechanism which will not make the workflow rules reevaluate itself more than 3 times. So I think if you have triggers, that's probably where the issue is. You can use a static variable check to make sure that the triggers are not being called over and over again. That's one of the best practices that are.
Yeah. Okay. So on particular workflows, is there any best practices we have in place? Why? Because in any community, I could not able to find any best practices on workflows. So
on workflows.
Yes.
So with workflows, I basically say make sure that, the only issue with workflows is that you cannot control the order in which the workflows fire. Example, if you have 2 workflows on opportunity, which matches the criteria for the record that's being created or updated, you cannot control which workflow fires first. Okay, so you'll have to plan your logic according to that, or you can use the new tool called Process Builder, which is in beta, and I think in Spring 15 it's generally available. So that lets you actually, it's a more controlled and more efficient way of workflows is what I feel. If you're not using outbound messages, you can you can use that, which lets you control the order of how the workflows fire. You can bundle up processes together, which are just workflows. You can use that. So I would say it's a very broad question. Workflows in general, I'd say is very stable and does not let you go into the infinite loop because of the catch. But again, if there's a trigger involved in between, which again can cause the issue, right? Does that answer your question, or are you looking for something specific?
Yeah, my thing is, for example, let's move my question in this way. For example, say, if I had, as I said, is any, like, for example, say, if I'm to use any workflow field update on the same object,
Okay.
as a best practice, can I keep it in the workflow field update only, or can I move the trigger?
No, you can actually, if you can do it in the workflow, it'll be actually good. You can still keep the workflow field update as a action of the workflow, immediate action for the workflow. Only thing that you need to decide is whether you need the workflow being reevaluated, or if you have a set of workflows, and you need to decide whether the change or the update for the field that happens in this workflow, if you need that changes also to reevaluate the other workflows, then you will have to consider, whether there's going to be a runaway infinite loop. Workflows, again, as I said, will not jump into that. I would stick with workflows if you can go ahead with it, and code only if you need to, because maintaining code is much more, there's a lot more maintenance involved. You'll have to write test classes, and chances of error is more. So if you can do it with clicks, go ahead with it, and then finish it out with workflows.
Yeah, thank you. That sounds good.
Awesome. Malcolm, do you have any questions? Okay. Okay, guys, I think it's just 3 of us for today. So if you don't have any other further questions, I would like to give the time of the day back to you guys. Sadashiva, do you have any other questions for us?
No, that's it. Yeah, thank you.
Good. Okay. So I actually had something to ponder about. I'm, as I said, using the process builder and trying to figure out so the process builder basically lets you go from evaluating a condition. If it's true, then do this. If it's false, then continue with the actions. So I'm trying to find out a way where I can design it much better. So that's the current thing that I'm trying to do. So check out the process builder. It's a very nice tool, and I feel it's very more powerful. So that's pretty much it. I think, guys, we don't have a lot more other people joining in. So hold on. I have a question from Malcolm. Hold on. Is there a system rule that there is a maximum of 3 which reverses are evaluated? So Malcolm, sorry that I didn't see any question. Well, for when you have the same workflow being reevaluated, if it's going to go in and recheck the same workflow, if it's going to keep reevaluating it, it will stop reevaluating it after 3 times, if I'm not mistaken. I can check on the number exact, but yes, it's either 3 or 4, if I'm not mistaken. It goes in loops, and if it's going to keep reevaluating the entire execution, after the 3rd time, it's not going to fire the after triggers and before triggers again. And is there an update about integrations with files or data? Malcolm, do you want to give more insight to that? I think you're talking about external
external Lightning Connect. So with Lightning Connect, I think it's also coming online for GA in Spring 15, Safe Harbor. But with Lightning Connect, what happens is you will be able to connect your SharePoint and different external systems which support the protocol called OData 2.0. Once that happens, the schema within that system is imported into Salesforce as external objects. And the data that's available in that system is now searchable and usable within Salesforce. So whatever, just like you can use S objects, you can use these external objects within APAC or SQL or anything in general. So it just acts like another S object, but it's called an external object. Hope that's what you're asking for, Malcolm. Awesome. Thank you. Any other questions, guys? Perfect. So we will have the follow-up MVP office hours a week after this. So I think the next MVP office hours will be on the 6th of February. Hoping to see you guys then. I'm going to give the time of the day back to you guys. Thank you for joining in again. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.